Welcome to another episode. Let's get into this video and see what questions we have. This is Paranormal, True or False. If you enjoy this video, it is free to subscribe, and I need your help to get to 1,000 subscribers. Is this a ghost hanging in this door? This employee will open up this door, take something out, and then come back in with something else. And as he's moving around, he'll close the door but not completely. And then when a light flashes across the door, an eerie figure can be seen. I keep watching the light because I feel like that might be part of the issue. And at first I thought it was a security guard flashlight, but now I'm wondering if it's headlights. This is one of those odd ones where if it was video overlay, they did a really good job of color matching so you can't see any of the sharp edges. But I also find myself wondering, is it just a glitch in the camera and just in that moment a real employee was coming through that door and they just happened to stoop down, maybe because they dropped something, but the camera glitched from going into the light versus dark and portrayed that as a ghostly figure instead of a real figure? I'm really torn on this one because I could see how it could be a camera glitch caused by the light versus dark, and cameras are just so sensitive about that stuff. But the transparency in that left shoulder and arm, it just gives me the creeps, and I just feel like it might be real. Is this a migration of ghosts? As we watch the right hand side, we will see a bunch of white figures running, with a couple of them jumping over the fence. It looks like a herd of deer. After two figures jump over the fence, they lay motionless on the ground. I noticed two things. First, there's a car that was speeding down the road at about the same speed that these figures were running. So I feel like the car headlights might have produced some of the effect that we see here. So I'm thinking the tree line or a fence line between the road and this area has to be very sparse in some areas, which creates some of these effects. The second thing I noticed is this shiny thing right in the middle of the crowd. Did somebody forget to take their Apple Watch off before they decided to pull this prank? The shiny mask shows up just before the two figures jump over the fence. Did somebody set up some type of a smoke machine that would puff out like a drum and create these effects just as the car was driving by? And then at the very end they toss over some type of batting or stuffing, and that's what we're seeing laying on the ground. I'm not convinced this is paranormal. I think it can be recreated using the correct equipment and materials. They probably noticed when they looked at their security camera footage how that light bounces around in that area from headlights, and if it was foggy it would have given these eerie ghostly figures. So they probably noticed that and decided to elaborate on that. Are these ghosts in this window? As we look into this window, we start to see figures and shapes. On the right we see a small hand. On the left, we see a face of a small child. Is this a Rorschach test, or is it pareidolia? I think this window with different lights and reflections and shadows just messes with your eyes and causes optical illusions, because I can actually see a nun in this as well. I would like to know what's behind the camera. Is there a statue that is being reflected into this window? Because oftentimes when you have this type of ornate pattern on windows, you have ornate statues as well. It is very common to see a life-size statue of a child in gardens and yards in some of the more posh residents on the earth. This could also be a cemetery, and the statue is depicting an angel. What is this freaky flyer? As we look towards the sky, we see a freaky floating humanoid figure. What is it? I can see the humanoid figure, but I think that's pareidolia. What I really think is happening is that is a bunch of balloons that escaped. I think they were tied together just like this stack of balloons, and then they got loose, and they do look like they're a human being when they're floating that high up. And it's possible when they got close to a tree or an electric line, a few of them started popping, or they're slowly losing their helium, and that's why they're coming down. Is this a real person or a shadow figure? As these two people are talking, we see a figure walk in front of the doors. The person with the camera immediately moves over and goes to investigate. He pans the camera in the direction that the figure should have been, and a cart moves seemingly by itself, but there's no figure anywhere. Initially, I thought they were in the room, and that was just somebody walking in the hallway. Then when we go through the doors, we see the figure was in a room, and it doesn't look like there's any way out based on the direction it was going. This could be the hoax because of how he delayed panning the camera towards the direction the figure walked into. The figure could have squatted down and snuck behind the camera operator and went out the door during that delay when the camera wasn't focused on that side of the room. A string could have been used to pull the cart. I know there are some days and nights where a hospital can get slow in every city around the world, and this could have been one of those nights where they decided to stage all this. Again, this is another one where I can see how it can be recreated, but there's just something about it that makes me feel like it might be real. Is this a ghost trying to escape an accident? This is a scene of a car accident, and supposedly a person died. As the tow truck driver is trying to move the car, a ghostly figure can be seen. Is this an odd reflection? Is this a camera glitch? Is this video overlay? I don't see sharp edges, but they could have done a really good job on color matching to blend the edges in. Or is this the ghost of the person that just died? Did you think this clip regarding the ghost stuck in the door was real? Did you think this ghostly migration was real? Is this a ghost or a reflection? Is this a balloon? A rocket man? An alien? Was this a slow night hoax or a shadow figure? Is this a natural or a paranormal phenomenon? What were your thoughts on these videos? Put your remarks in the comments section below. Be safe and watch out for the non-paranormal threats. Much thanks to Jim Riley for the background music. It is free to subscribe, follow, like, and comment. So subscribe on YouTube, follow on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and leave a comment. Thanks for watching Paranormal, True or False.